Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. You're going to get a lot out of this. And again, the more people that we reach, the more people we teach. And that's just how the algorithm works. So those who are liking the videos, commenting, and all that, I really appreciate that. Because what that does is that gets the algorithm going. So people then can see the videos. And I've had a lot of new people recently, and what breaks my heart is so many people are looping on this journey, and I do not want that. I do not want anybody to loop. I want people to go straight through this because, see, it doesn't have to last that long. And if it's lasting long, the reason is we are being misinformed, and we do not realize what this journey really is about. Now, this journey is an awakening journey. Okay? If you would like to work with me one-on-one, you can reach out through email, redeemingthebroken@gmail.com. So guys, I know how hurtful this journey is. I have such compassion for every single one of you. And no matter what phase of the journey that you're in, I get people in the very beginning stages, which I really love when that happens, because I can make it go faster, okay, because I'm able to give them the blueprint of what's really happening. However, there's people that come to me also that have been on this for quite some time. There's people in the middle, and you know, it is what it is. I meet everybody where they're at, okay? However, my heart goes out because I know how hard that it is. I know the pain that you're going through. I understand how nobody understands it. I understand the obsessive thoughts that you're going through. I understand the waking up in the middle of the night with fear. I understand not understanding what's going to happen. I understand you questioning God. I understand you having anger and bitterness. I mean, I literally went through all of this, guys, on top of all the in-betweens, and all hell breaking loose, thinking that I would have been just better off not be here because I lost absolutely everything. So what I can say from this is God is restoring everything little by little, okay? But the old identity has to die. Our ego has to die. So a lot of us don't understand what born again really means, okay? When they talk about born again, a lot of clients admitted they were guilty of this. I was one of them. We think being born again just means giving our life to Christ and following the Bible. And that actually is, again, misleading you. It is a whole identity death. The old identity is dead, which means the templates, which means everything you thought Christianity was, everything you thought on how God worked, everything how you thought on how relationships went, marriage went, your perception, everything dies. The ego dies. You are then in a place of flow, soul alignment. You're flowing. You don't know how, but it just happens, okay? Through going through the steps, okay, and flowing through the journey. And in order for the ego to burn away, there has to be accountability, there has to be responsibility, and there has to be change, which usually comes from humility. But a lot of us don't want to look at ourselves and how we could be doing anything. And I'm not going to lie, when I used to hear people say that we have to work on ourselves, we have to do self-care, we have to evolve physically, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, emotional intelligence. When I heard all this stuff, I used to get angry, guys. I used to get angry because I'm thinking, what is this necessary for? Why is this necessary? I had not a clue. Because the only way, guys, you can get the promises that you're looking for is your soul has to come into alignment, and you have to expand. Okay, so you have to actually expand. You have to get rid of the old template of what you've always used on how to do life. You have to get out of survival mode. A lot of you guys don't even know what that means. A lot of you don't even know what your survival instinct is. Fight, fawn, flee, freeze. You don't even know any of this stuff. You don't realize your trauma responses, any of these things. So what happens is you're looping. You're unaware on how to even get yourself out of this. You're just focused on the physical of what's going on with the other person. You're only worried about them and not worried about you at all. And if you are worried about you, you're doing it from a point of trying to control the narrative to get what you want. And I understand it's okay to want what you want, but you're not going to get what you want until you fully realize that this process happens to awaken you, to awaken the you that was always there. And then when you get to this place where you're like, wow, this didn't happen to me, this happened for me, and you see it from a whole different lens. I mean, guys, you will loop forever until you truly grasp what's even happening. So I wanted to put this out here today because this was just Holy Spirit led on how I'm kind of explaining it. And I had a lot of good calls today that were all getting people to understand that a lot of us even believe that being a Christian is either being people pleaser or being the condescending, legalistic approach, operating from control. There's no in between. So it's either self-abandon or an eye for an eye, judgment. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, there's no balance today in anything. And soul alignment is that. So it's really hard to make sense of because the ego and the mind, which is the ego is the mind, the flesh is going to do everything it can to stay in control and control the narrative. And that's why people control in the first place. They want to feel safe. They want to use the comfort coping mechanisms, the comfort to satisfy the flesh and the ego to feel safe. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm going to tell you something. You know, your ego, I just told a client this yesterday, is never going to be happy anyway. You're just going to keep feeding it and feeding it and feeding it, and you're going to see it's never going to be enough, which is why you ask God a question. He answers you, and you want more. You want more and more and more. It's because you will never be happy. Your ego will always want more, which is why we have to starve it. And I help people do this. So again, if you would like to work with me one-on-one, you can reach out through email, redeemingthebroken@gmail.com. Bye, guys.